Time has gone 22 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock, and it's a very good evening to you. Welcome to it, our special broadcast that is brought to you courtesy of Government Communication and Information System, together with the Department of Communications, alongside some of the stakeholders that we have for this evening. But maybe before we go there, let me just apologize for the time that we've taken. We should have been on air for the last 10 minutes, but there was a technical glitch that we were trying to sort out, and hopefully it's been sorted out right now. So let me just welcome our guests for this evening without wasting any further time. We've got people coming from SAPO, which is the South African Post Office. The SABC is in the studio this evening, the South African Broadcast Corporation. And we've got Centec. We've got the Digital Migration Program Office with us here this evening, as well as USASA with us in this very evening. My name is Karabalans. Glad to be in your company. Let me just urge you as the listener to give us a call on our toll-free number if you want to interact with us, and our broadcast assistants, if I can call it that. Normally we call them guests, but these are more than guests, they're friends as well. So you can interact with us on 0800 142 446. So that's 0800 142 446. Welcoming all the participating radio stations across the country this evening. So from South African Post Office, we've got two people. We've got Get in the studio. We've got Antoine as well. A very good evening to you, sirs. Thank you so much for having made time to be with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Let me just ask you to come closer to that microphone there. It's a tight studio, by the way, this evening. You should see it on YouTube. We've never had anything like this before, so we're going to have to adapt and go along with it. And coming from the SABC is the Acting GE Corporate Affairs. So that's Hosea Gianni. Hosea, thank you so much for your time. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and good evening to all the listeners, wherever they are throughout the country.
Frank Mnisi from Centec says, hey, listen, I want to be part of this broadcast this evening as well. Frank, thank you so much for joining us as well.
Sure, thank you. Good evening to the listeners.
Dr. Fatuwani Mutubi, coming from the Digital Migration Program Office. Thank you so much, Fatu, for joining us this evening. Welcome to you as well.
Thank you, and good evening to the listeners.
Last but not least, the rose among the thorns. That's what I want to call it. And this is Kitumeti Tlahati, right? Yes. Kitumeti coming from USASA. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
Thank you so much for having me, and good evening to all your listeners.
So there we go. 0800 142 446. 0800 142 446. This is most probably going to be the most important broadcast you've ever had. And I'll tell you why, because Zojigizinto this evening. And by the way, you can chat to us in any language of your choice. We're talking about the digital migration. And that's what you've been hearing. And today we're going to go into detail about that and interacting with our stakeholders as well. Maybe let me just start with the South African Post Office. Maybe you can jump into there. Your part as far as digital migration is concerned up to so far. Maybe tell us about it, the experience thus far and so forth. You can pull that mic close to you. Get?
Okay. The experience so far has been, we've actually launched the program in, what was it, Anton, 2015, which was in the October 2015 in the Northern Cape, which was in the square kilometre array. And the take-up, was good. But we're now a few years down the line, and obviously the take-up hasn't been as quickly, as rapid as we thought it would be.
All right.
And therefore now we have approached, I think the DOC has now realised that we now need to use all the government arms to be able to speed up the registration process and necessarily delivery process as well, because the cut-off date next year is approaching very rapidly, and we have a lot of work still to do.
That cut-off date, by the way, what are we looking at?
That is in the June 2019.
My goodness.
So we don't have much time left.
Yeah.
We've done 500,000 registrations out of a possible 5 million which we've budgeted for.
Oh, wow.
So that means we've got to do another 4.5 million in just over a year, and then distribute those set-top boxes as well, which is a huge undertaking.
Jeez, can you believe it? Some of the hurdles that you've experienced. I mean, you said it's not taking speed as much as you thought it would. Maybe you can jump in there, Antoine. Some of the hurdles maybe that you've experienced that's making the process go a bit slower than anticipated.
Yes, what we're doing, we are notifying the people that have been registered to come and collect the registered boxes via SMS, and we're experiencing delays in this regard. And then what we're also now doing is to fast track the process, is to use the installers to do the issuing via bulk.
That's awesome. That's awesome. 27 after 6 o'clock. If you've just joined us, welcome to it. A special broadcast courtesy of Government Communication and Information System, the GCIS, together with the Department of Communication, the stakeholders this evening, South African Postal Offices, South African Post Office rather, the South African Broadcast Corporation, SABC, Centec is in the studio, the Digital Migration Program Office joining us, as well as USASA this evening. And we're going to be finding out from these stakeholders how far we are with DTT and some of the experiences they're having. We just spoke to SAPO now and just giving us a brief outline in terms of where they are with regards to the distribution of the set-top boxes. And maybe let me just chat to Ndate Gianni just to find out a little bit more. I wonder if Ndate Gianni would like to speak in an African language just for a bit, just for my tongue to relax a little bit, you know. You know, speaking English sometimes, man, yeah. You know, you need to relax and speak a mother tongue. Ndate Gianni.
Can use my mother tongue, but the problem is that we might not have some terms for some of these processes.
It's fine.
But I'm very comfortable.
It's fine. Let's do that.
Yeah. Siyinhlangano yokusakaza eNingizimu Afrika. Sijabule kakhulu ngalohlelo olusha lokusakaza eNingizimu Afrika elizokwenza ukuba ke inhlelo zethu abantu bazithole noma bekuphi la bekhona. Abayo banenkinga yokuthi uma kuna izulu mhlawumbe kufanele bagibele phezukwendlu bamise ama-aerial abheke indawana ngaso sonke isikhathi bazawuthola izithombe zethu zikamabona kude zibonakala kahle, kanti okunye futhi bazokwazi ukuba ke bathole namanye ama-channels wakwa SABC kanti nawe ezinye inhlangano ezisakazayo ezingakhokhelwa njalo ngenyanga. Angisobe ke ngibiza amagama abantu emoyeni, kodwa ke khona namanye ama-channels abazowathola azokwenza ukuthi ke manje abantu bakwazi ukuba ke babe nezinhlelo eziningi abazozikhethela zona behlele emakhaya. Inkinga ke nje obubuza ukuba ke yini ngathi lo hlelo lokushintsha lendlela yokusakaza ngathi lihamba kancane. Iyamangaza lento ngoba ke sambe cishe ama province wonke sisakaza lo mlayezo ukuba abantu hambani eposini niyobhalisa ninikezwe lamabhokisi amnyama, lamabhokisi amnyama kama set top box noma ke mhlambe ngahleze ngithi lamabhokisi ayafana nama decoders. Uma ke uye lapha eposini mawuqualifya uthola imali ngenyanga, baseposini bazasho kuba imali engakanani, kodwa abantu ke behola eliphansi njengakule ndawo koBook and Walk labantu bakhala khona ukuthi abatholi ithombe ngendlela efanele. Nalapha ko Middleburg siyazi ukuthi ke khona abantu abangatholi inhlelo zakwa SABC ngendlela efanele. But bonke labo bantu babangavuka nje baye eposini babhalise bathole lamabhokisi bazoyithola zonke inhlelo zethu. Khona ke njoba sine iteshi ezingu3 abantu abazazi SABC 1, 2 and 3 bazokwazi ukuba ke bathole nalezi zinye iteshi ke zakwa SABC ezimbili ezitholakala ke ku DStv le News 24 channel ye SABC. Kanti kokunye lama radio stations we SABC angu 18. Uma abantu balalele ama radio stations wabo basebenzisa ibhokisi likamabona kude, umuntu uzokwazi bakalalele noma isiphi stage sakhe asithandayo, noma useKapa noma useLimpopo uzokwazi bakathole lezo inhlelo zakwa SABC. Siba kwa SABC sijabule kakhulu ngalohlelo ke elidonswa phambili nguhulumeni ikakhulukazi umnyango wezokuxhumanisa eNingizimu Afrika.
Siyabonga impela. 0800 142 446. That's 0800 142 446. It's a toll-free number if you're going to be calling from a landline. Otherwise, if you're calling from a cell phone, we'll take your details down and we'll call you back in that way, saving you costs. So do that. Interact with us this evening. 0800 142 446. From Centec, we're going to be chatting to Ndate Munisi.
Yes.
And he's going to be he's very excited. You can hear he's saying yes. Pretty excited. Yeah, I love it. I love it, Ndate Munisi. Really, and thank you for your time. Centec's role in this bigger picture, tell us about it.
Yeah, thank you. Our role as Centec is really to build the technology platforms that will make sure that the signal will be distributed to the masses. So we are involved in the entire value chain, from collecting the content from the broadcasters, passing the content through our network to the end user. That's pretty much our role.
In fact, as you're listening to this broadcast, it's going via Centec at some stage.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Centec, for your role that you're playing. And we're going to come back to you with some figures, maybe, just an explanation on some of the things, geographical coverages and all of that stuff. The VHFs, the UHFs, and all so forth. So Ndate Munisi will be chatting to you now shortly. Digital Migration Program Office. Now, these are the guys, if they sleep at all, I'll be very surprised. And representing the office is Dr. Fatuani Mutubi. Can I get you an energy drink, Dr. Mutubi?
No.
You're fine.
I've all the
I'm
energy
asking
for
because of the lot of work that you guys do and how hectic it is in your office. Tell us about it. How far are you guys? What is the mood and how is everything going?
Thank you, and the listeners at home. As the Digital Migration Program Office, you note that we are responsible for the overall program rollout, planning, and execution through coordination of stakeholders and key role-playing entities. These entities sitting around here, SAPO, USASA, SABC, and ICASA. They are here to deliver on the mandate of the government to ensure that everybody migrate from analog to digital platform. We are working hand in hand with the local and district municipalities across the country. The provincial governments and the municipalities have garnered the support in ensuring that we migrate quicker. However, we are currently focusing in the Northwest and Free State provinces due to their prominence to the borderline areas with our neighboring countries to ensure that we mitigate frequency interference in those areas. In terms of the progress, as SAPO has indicated, we have stages of the rollout process. First, we have to ensure that indigents register with the post office so that we can provide them with the migration devices, which are set-top boxes. However, we also have those who do not qualify to be given the government subsidized boxes, whom we encourage to go and purchase these devices from retail market. So far, we are making progress, but we are concerned that we are not making progress as SAPO has indicated. We have a very limited timeline now. We are targeting the registration process to be completed across the country. Everybody who qualifies to have been registered by the 30th of April 2018. So we urge everybody across the country, those who are listening now, to tell their neighbors, their friends at work, and everybody to ensure that we meet the deadline of 30th of April to have everybody registered.
Right, 0800 142 446. That's 0800 142 446. It's a toll-free number if you're going to be calling from a landline. And if you're calling from a cell phone, we'll take your details down and we'll call you back. We're talking about DTT. DTT, Mona, and ke karata lwena mtheletše gore o ke o re letse mogala ga ile gore mohlomongwe o ka nyaka go boleišana le rena ka ditaba tše tše leng gore di monate gampe ba re ba lebeletše date ya June 2019 as a cut-off date ga ile gore mohlomongwe a išebe o ye wa ile ngwadiša lebitso la gago tlebe le gore ka nnete re tla tlogela mo o senang lesedi o tlebe le wena o le mongwe wa batho ba ileng gore ga ba kry se o swanetšeng go se kry leng sona di-set-top boxes. Let's talk a little bit more about the qualification criteria, rather. Hang in there, Kitumets. I'm coming to you now. Kitumets is very excited. She's like, it's my turn now. I'm going to go for the... Just hang 10. I'm coming to you now. All right? I'm coming to you now. All right, let's talk about the qualification criteria. Are we going to take it to the South African Post Office to tell us a little bit more about that? Yet maybe you want to jump in there. People are saying, listen, how does it work? How do I qualify? What means are you testing my qualification from? Tell us more about that.
Any post office, you would necessarily go to the post office. Your household income, proof of household income. Now, to be able to qualify for the subsidy, you need to be earning less than 3,200 rand a month. Then obviously if you don't have a payslip, we would have to get some form of affidavit just certifying the amount that you earn. And then obviously proof of residential address, because we would have to necessarily deliver this, or you'll have to collect this, and then the installer will have to come install it for you, because it's not something that you can do yourself. There's a list of installers that have been appointed by USASA, who would then approach the individual. Now, when you register, you will get a receipt from the post office, which includes your personal details, and then the STB type, the set-top box type. There are two types. There's a DTH and a DTT. Now, the DTH type is obviously the one that works depending on where you're based and the reception that you've got. It would be a satellite dish, and the set-top box is slightly different. And then there's the DTT, which is again also a digital set-top, but it's aerial based. And then obviously the receipt that you would have would include the sequential distribution number of the individual. So the distribution number is unique per province. So if we start in the northwest, for example, it would be NW 001 for that matter, but there will be no other NW 001. And then what will happen is those details then get sent through to the manufacturers, through to USASA. We order the material. The material then arrives at the post office, and as soon as that is done, we receive the material and the set-top box. The individual is then contacted via SMS to come collect his set-top box. Upon arriving at the post office, he would then have to present his receipt, and then from there you could actually take the set-top box away with him. And then at that point, as soon as the individual has collected the set-top box, we then automatically notify the USASA installers to contact the beneficiary, and they will then obviously come to the beneficiary's home and do the installation for him.
Sounds pretty awesome. How long does it take, really, in terms of if somebody applies, for instance? Does it take long when they're standing in the queue, or is this something that's quick? Maybe it's like opening up a bank account or some sort?
Karabo, it is relatively fast. We take about 2 minutes.
Oh wow, that's
to register.
Yeah, wow, that's great. Talk about service delivery there.
Yeah, and if the people have received this SMS and he brings it in, we, as Gert have indicated, we check his registration receipt and issue.
Jeez, that's great. That's great.
But what is also fantastic is that when the guy have registered and he have received his equipment,
Yeah.
immediately when he received the equipment, the SMS goes to the installer, notifying the installer to contact the person that has received the stock to go and
do the installation. Yeah.
At the same time, the customer also have got the installer's detail on his receipt.
So if there's a technical fault, they can always call them back.
Contact each other immediately.
And of course, I mean, they would report to you guys in terms of quality assurance and all of that stuff. Is it? Jump in there, Gert.
Quality
That's fine,
assurance
yeah.
at this point in time is not something the post office looks at. It's
Right.
it's not part of our core competencies. We're
Right.
performing the logistical function and necessarily the registration. So if I can just quickly pop in and just basically just
Go for
give
it,
you
yeah.
a rundown as to what the post office is responsible for.
Right.
So necessarily we process the applications. We order, we warehouse and distribute the STP equipment to our outlets nationally. Then we deliver the STB equipment in sequential order, so there will be no road, let's say, queue jumping.
Oh, yeah.
Once your number is your number, and if you don't come collect your STB equipment, there will be a process that number will be reallocated. But we also issue the installation vouchers. We do the payments of the installation to the installers themselves as well. But at the same time, when you buy when you get your STB equipment, it comes with a 2-year warranty.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
if there's a problem when it gets installed, we will do the reverse logistics for that as well. But also we would have to necessarily get the necessary approvals, and we basically manage the whole administrative process on behalf of USASA.
Jeez, you guys have got your hands full, I'll tell you what. But you're doing an awesome job, I must say. I'm sure you've heard USASA quite a couple of times now, and you're wondering, hey, who USASA is. It's a state-owned entity of government established through the Electronic Communications Act of 36 of 2005, and we're going to be chatting to them now shortly. But before we do that, let me take a caller quickly, calling all the way from the Eastern Cape in Elwell North, and this is Padco from Takalani Community Radio. Good evening to you, Padco.
Dumela ntate wa phela.
Autlwe he, ya phela ntate wena?
Lena ngiyaphila. Ngiyadumisa lokuthatha uJiyani ngapho ngase studio.
Babu Jiyani ukumamele baba, uboma ukumamele baba, yes.
Ngiyabulela.
Aha.
Ndinombuzo ngiqondisa bani. Umbuzo wami oqala mina ne. Ndifuna uqinisekisa ukuba since sisazi ukuthi Eastern Cape ne kukho the rural areas apho ufumana ukuthi abantu abanayo ixesha lokuthi mhlawumbe angeza etown umuntu akwazi ukuthi abe uzawukwazi ukuthi aziaplayela since kuthiwa ziyafumaneka ezo box. So ndifuna ukuqonda uba i-department iyakwazi ukuthi yona iqinisekise ukuba ithi hayi namhlanje siya ezilalini sikwazi udibana nabantu basezilalini sibaxelele ngale project le sinayo ingaba sebeyile kwilali. Then umbuzo wami wesibini ukubona mhlawumbe xa kunetha iweather imbi ufumana ukuthi kuthiwa ngoku this decoder ichisiwe into ngumbane okanye i-lightning, ingaba ke ngoku iyakwazi udibana ukuthi yenze i-replacement yaloo nto leyo, ngoba umzekelo kwi-DSTV uyakwazi ukuthi uyise phaa iyolungiswa okanye bakureplace le bona bazawukwazi babe nayo i-replacement. Ndiyabulela kakhulu, ngizobamela kuTakalani Radio.
Ndiyabulela Partco calling from Elwell North from Takalani Community Radio Station, one of our partners this evening. We really appreciate it. I'm not sure if this, if you want to take it, Gian. In fact, all the callers who are going to be calling in, let me just maybe do this quickly. All the callers who are going to be calling in, if you feel like you need to answer that question, you're more than welcome to do that. If this is not for any specific guest, really, you're more than welcome to jump in. Gian, would you like to respond on that?
Yes, I can respond. I think there are two questions. It's about the replacement of a decoder if it's damaged, whether by lightning or whatever. And the second part of the question is whether we will reach out to the deep rural areas of our country. We have been in the Eastern Cape already, but unfortunately we cannot be all over the place. We are of the opinion, and we must also remember, you can also get assistance from our provincial offices, that is SABC. But apart from that, the post office, I'm sure, would be in a position to indicate that they are servicing even people in the deep rural areas. I come originally from a deep rural area, and I can assure you there's a post office in that particular area.
Yeah.
But yes, where there are problems, we will try and reach out to those areas. And I'm sure post office will deal about the replacement. I'm aware that, yes, they've replaced a number of decoders. We have an email and also a number, SABC, it's a call center number, your 011 9111, and then others, they email directly, go digital at sabc.co.za. And when they send those problems, we channel them to the post office. Sengiyakhohlwa ubutatu bekhuluma ngesintu. Uma ke sithola lezo nkinga sizithumela eposini ke bayakwazi ukuthi ke ngalamakheli eswathumelayo bakuthinte ba replace leyo nto, but I'm sure Anton uzaw add ngale replacement.
Right. Anton?
Thank you, Karabo. On the replacement side, you merely contact the Centec call center. They will investigate a reason for the technicality, and they will issue a authority number to you. Once you have received that authority number, you go to your nearest branch, you present the authority number, the post office then verify the authority number and the reason for exchange on the system, and if everything is okay, we then exchange and we replace the equipment, and we then reassign the installer that have done the first installation.
Right, thank you so much there, Anton. Would you like to jump in, Dr. Fadu?
Thanks. In terms of reaching the rural areas with respect to the registration of indigents, we are working hand in hand with South African Post Office, local municipalities, and our program office, wherein we go to rural communities, establish registration centers so that we register people there and take the forms to the nearest post office. So we are able to cater for everybody, even those who are staying far away from the post offices.
Right, 0800 142 446. That's 0800 142 446. I've got the South African Post Office in the studio, the South African Broadcasting Corporation in the studio. I've got Centec. I've got the Digital Migration Program Office from the DOC, as well as USASA. So you can chat to any of them. And we're going to be hearing from USASA now shortly. But before I do that, and I know seriously, now she's really getting into trouble now soon. But let me take this caller quickly, Gitu, and we'll come to you. Let me take Lebo from Elwell North. Yeah, Lebo?
KV.
Lebs.
Kana watu waphila mre.
Kuyaphila mre, wena.
Amnati.
Out ahead.
Man, I get Kalimona Kedu, what it is, I phone Mona. I was complaining, man, guys, we didn't even hear you when you started the program.
Yeah.
At all, Madiso Gibomang, I even asked other community radio stations to find out really is it us Kapakibo Kiruna no, it is the same program. The same problem with you guys there, the technicians. Please try to fix that one. And I only have two questions. One, ba gona ho thusa batho bana ba holo le batho ba sa itikanelang ka hore ba ye ho bona rather than going to the post office, because what is happening mona rona re bona batho ba ye post office, they must go and register. So what about the people who are disabled? Then ya bobedi, can you apply for this while you are having a DSTV? Motho a dula next kapa your brother kapa your mother jwalo ka nna ke na le family yaka ke mme wa ka ana le mkhukunyano a kapa pozinyana can I apply for her or abena leon? Thank
you so much, Lebs, for that heads up with regards to a technical issue that we're having. And I hope my sound engineer is listening to it now, and he'll look into it, as well as the transmission point in Durban. I hope you guys are listening. Please look into the matter of sound on your side as well, and let's try to get a clearer sound on this one. Okay, here's two questions. The first one, how much of assistance are we giving to the elderly when they're doing these applications, and also people with disabilities? Any of you gentlemen and lady, you can jump into this. Lebs, you get Barkman Kitu, you can jump into this. You don't wait for USASA to come in. USASA can come in on these questions, really. All right. So if you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to do. But any of you gentlemen, lady, if you want to jump into this one.
Thanks, Lebu. We are working, as indicated, we are working with the local municipalities and the local post offices. And that is one area that we have picked up, that we have elders and the disabled people that we need to cater for. The reason behind working hand in hand with the municipalities is to ensure that since the municipalities, they have their community development workers, they will be moving into those households to ensure that everybody who qualifies get registered. The issue around the DSTV application, yes, there are those people who are on that platforms due to the situation of network availability in those areas. And somebody like myself happened to buy these devices for my parents. So if they qualify and they fall within the bracket, they should go and register, and they will be connected with the free government subsidized set-top boxes.
Mm-hmm. And then the issue with regards to what I want to call dual reception. I don't know if I'm using the right term. I'll tell you why I'm using it, because they spoke of having, say you're having a DSTV reception decoder now, and then you want to get this one, which will be having dual reception in one household. How do we deal with that? Is it a possibility? Can you have both at the same time, or do you need to relinquish the other?
Anton, if I can just answer that. We had that situation in the Northern Cape when we launched in the SKA area.
Mm-hmm.
Subject to, let's say, the income qualification being there, 3,200 Rand or less. The beneficiary, if he wants to have DSTV, who am I to say to him he's not allowed to have DSTV? But obviously, based on his income, if he qualifies, then we will install that STB aerial or dish for him. It's not a disqualifier if you have DSTV. The benefit of actually getting the subsidized STB is that it's free of charge, and you don't have to pay for anything at this point in time.
Right. 9 before 7 o'clock, the moment we've been waiting for. Now, I'm saying it because Kitimet has been waiting for a long time. We're talking about USASA. Just in case you did not know what USASA is, let's start there. USASA, Kitimet, Kibomang USASA, when we're talking about them.
Good evening to everybody. I think the question that you're asking is very important, because a lot of people confuse USASA lesasa. So I'm glad that I have an opportunity.
Let me tell you something.
USASA is Universal Service and Access Agency of South Africa. Basically, what we are tasked with, we fall under the Department of Telecommunications and Postal Services, and our mandate is to make sure that we provide information communication technologies to the underserved areas. So now most of your listeners, as they know, that there are certain provinces that are more impoverished than others, and that's where our focuses are. So our job in this project essentially is to make sure that we procure the set-top boxes on behalf of the citizens, because we know that they don't have the money. So government gives us the funding, and then what we do with the funding is that we facilitate the drafting of the standards, or to say that this is what the decoder is supposed to do, this is what the people are supposed to get, the technical aspect of it, as well as the installers. And then we also did the selection criteria to say that this is what we would be looking at, and this is how the people would benefit, and that we pay as USASA for those, including the installation. So when Anton and them, as the post office, send a message to the installers to go and install, once they come back to say that they've installed and give us the proof, then we actually go and pay them.
Awesome. Right. Now, Dr. Munisi, as far as infrastructure, is there where you guys are involved in the infrastructure rollout of this? You can jump in there. I could do about something that's relating to that. So if you want to add on this, you're more than welcome to do that. Maybe jump in, Dr. Munisi.
Yeah. From an infrastructure perspective, as Centec Runa, we have already built a total of 181 sites. Though I need to warn that the migration process only called for 178, but based on the need to expand services to the underimpoverished areas, we then added 4 sites. 3 of those sites are currently operational. There's one site where we're still working on the mechanism to get it up on the air. So in total we have 181 DTT sites that are operational as we speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Laat ek miskien Afrikaans praat en shock get en Anton there for a bit. So skakel ons gerus as miskien jy wil saam met ons praat. Die nommer om te skakel is 'n toll-free nommer. Dis 0800 142446. Dis 0800 142446. So sê vir ons bietjie. Jy just look at me like, what has just happened? My goodness. All right, let's talk. I want to focus in the next coming minutes. I want to focus on, and by the way, it was just a channel for me opening it up, that if you want to jump into Afrikaans, please feel free to do that, right? So because we do have Afrikaans listeners, it's a nationwide program, this. But looking at the time now, I would like us to focus on 2 provinces, seeing that we've got a cut-off deadline that we're looking at from March. I think the remainder of the program, let's maybe praat oor dit. Het jy dit gehoor? Dat praat ons oor dit. Ek probeer maar, hoor. Okay, let's talk about the timelines that we've set now for the Northwest Province. You want to jump in there, Patu?
Thanks. We have set up the timelines for Free State and Northwest towards the end of March 2018. The reason being that we have devices secured for those areas, so that we can move out of the provinces. We are expecting, we are in those areas, in different district municipalities. We have established steering committees that are functional, with all the entities sitting around here, together with the local and district municipalities. We are registering people in blocks, in post office, in municipalities, through the use of community development workers. We allowed healing. We have the banner running on the television indicating that everybody who is in those areas should be registered and connected by the end of March 2018. So this is the timeline. If people in those areas have not registered, we are urging them to go and register with post office, go everywhere. We have our officials from the department, from SAPO, from USASA, from SABC, from ICASA in those areas, assisting indigents and the community at large to register.
All right. Get it, Anton. This is most a broerse project that we're talking about. Considering all the areas that we need to cover, Hoe doen julle dit? I mean, how are you guys coping? I mean, everybody, yeah.
Rabbo, ons het tans ongeveer 120
No smile ek.
120
Daar sê.
poskantore in die Vrystaat en ons
Ja.
het so 122 in die Noordwes.
Mhm.
Almal wat kwalifiseer, hulle moet net dood eenvoudig hulle ID-boek, hulle bewys van inkomste wat 3200 en minder moet wees, as ook hulle bewys van adres en dat hulle 'n bewys dat hulle 'n werkende televisiestel het. Moet hulle na die poskantoor toe bring. Ons registreer hulle binne 'n paar minute en hulle word onmiddellik in kennis gestel na hulle geregistreer het of hulle kwalifiseer of nie. Ons gee hulle dan hulle registrasie bewys en sodra ons dan daai registrasie gekry het as kwalifiseerd, vra ons dan die e-toerusting aan. Ons stuur dan vir hulle 'n boodskap via SMS en hulle word dan uitgenooi om hulle toerusting te koop.
0800 142 446 0800 142 446. It's a toll-free number if you're going to be calling from a landline. I'll be very happy to hear from you. So use that number, 0800 142 446. Quite a bit of a problem that we're experiencing in the Free State. It sounds like the registration process, it's actually going, or the installation and registration process, it's going pretty slowly there. Patu, Kitu, everybody. Now Kitu is like, I don't want to touch the microphone right now. Okay. No, but seriously, let's talk about the Free State really in terms of the registration and the installation is concerned. Are we fast-tracking that?
One of the key elements that we're working on now is to assess the shortcomings and the areas where we have not been doing well, and the reasons behind forging the partnerships with the municipality is to ensure that we go to the different areas and get installers in those respective areas. Mm-hmm. One of the challenges that we had was that we had installers coming from different areas. What we are currently doing is to go sit in a particular municipality, Machosana, the Lejolepuza district municipality. We have sourced the database of installers so that when we start with the rollout process or the distribution of these set-top boxes, they are being connected by people from the community.
Wow.
One of the benefit behind the approach is that when there is a technical problem along a street, you have somebody who is coming from that particular area to go and fix the problem. One issue that we have picked up is some problems are sometimes not necessary, because when people are cleaning their houses, they end up pulling out the RFC cable, which causes problem. Then if you have somebody along the street, it's just a matter of plugging back the RFC cable.
So we don't need to call somebody from far, really.
Yes. So this is the process. We are fast tracking this process where we are calling everybody to go and register, because what we are going to do now is to go with the team of installers and do installation in a block, after a block until we finish. But we are coming there with a team pool of installers. The good thing about this is that there will be local people from those communities.
I like it when he says some of the problems are not necessarily the big problems as such. Somebody cleaning in their house, maybe just pulling one of the cables out, and he just needs somebody close by to actually sort that problem out. Mom, I hope you're listening. Get, you want to jump in there?
Karabo, if I can just quickly add, I mean, in terms of the Free State, in terms of the projected registration that we will do in the Free State, we've got 341,000. To date, we've only done 132,000. Which means we've only done 38% of what we are hoping to do. We have to do another 208,000 registrations before the cut-off date. If one looks at Northwest, we've got an approximately amount of 383,000 registrations that we anticipate, and we've only done 60,000, which is 15%. So you understand the quantum of the problem that we're sitting with.
I can imagine, eh?
So it's a big problem. We're going to have to do a lot of registrations. We're requesting the listeners to please heed the call and Go to your post office, get registered. Because once the digital migration happens, your analog TV is no longer going to work. You're going to have to need a set-top box.
You want to talk about day zero?
See, that's the problem. In fact, from us as a broadcaster, it's very critical that people get the message loud and clear that the programs that they like so much, if they don't go and register after the cut-off date, they will not be able to receive our programs unless they have that box, the set-top box.
I'm a big fan, Yalisilo Rula, so please, man, I better get down there and get myself registered. Dade, would you like to jump in there?
Well, not really. However, for us, when it comes to registration, we'd like to emphasize the quality of the installation as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've picked up a lot of problems where, end users are complaining that, look, I'm not getting a clear picture quality, and when you try to interrogate, we realize that the installation was flawed. So from our stakeholders, we would really appreciate help, because unfortunately as Centec, this is where we feel the heat now, because remember, the end user wants to see a perfect picture. If there's no picture, immediately it's a Centec problem as a signal distributor. So,
Kidu?
Yep.
Yes, I think I'd like to jump in there.
Please do.
What has happened is that I think because this is a new project, so obviously in the inception of it and in the installation, and that part of the criteria is that we wanted the local installers to use local people. So we had to now get the services of people to say that they need to train people. So I think this is where some of the issues are coming in, where these are people that have never used these things before. So it was a trial and error. But I know that obviously as the more they start installing, the quality improves as time goes on. So it's one of those things that I think with the collaboration between the department and the post office, every time these issues are picked up, they are dealt with immediately. So even the issue of the installers not being from the area, the issue is actually being dealt with, because some of the issues were the fact that you had the registration was so low, the uptake of the registration was so low, so you can't have people sitting indefinitely trying to install, and then you have people that have never done it before, and then the quality, so it becomes like a snowball effect. So this is where some of the issues have come in, but I know that the post office has done a stellar job in helping with the registration and the department. So I know that with that picking up, the installers as well, there's more people who are installing, and the batch installations as well are making it easier. So some of these problems, I know that they're no longer existing, but every time there's a new problem that occurs, the team as a whole comes together and comes with a solution thereof.
Awesome stuff. All right, let's take a call up quickly, seeing the time is running against us. We've lost that caller. 0800 142 446. That's 0800 142 446. I was wondering the other day when we were talking about the border areas in terms of what can I call it? Signal spillage. That's just the word that just came to my mind, really. Yeah. If you want to use it, maybe I will have to patent it.
No, you're on point. Spillage.
Yeah,
that's the correct.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. Have we done tests of in that regard, ascertaining if when we go live, if I can call it that, will we have problems like that? Where are we?
Yeah, look, we have done tests, and also I need to mention that we are working with our neighbors, because it requires a coordination process. Remember, with the radio frequency signal, you don't have a cut-off point. It's defined. It's 5 meters. It can go on into the neighboring countries. However, through our coordination, we are working, and we're trying as much as possible not to interfere with, the spectrum on the other side of the border.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think everybody's talking about television, but I wonder how radio comes into the picture. You want to explain that? I
can touch on radio quickly. Look, with radio, we're still pretty much working on analog, which is the FM band. However, moving forward, as Centec, we have conducted tests on a digital FM platform. We call it DAB. Mm-hmm. We've collaborated with a few radio stations in Gauteng, and the tests were positive. All we're waiting for is now the licensing of the DAB spectrum. So we are engaging with the ICASA to see how best we can fast track it and start rolling out services on DAB. Yeah.
What does it mean for somebody who's got a running mind like I am? You know, in terms of maybe ideas, I'm thinking, my goodness me, maybe this is a possibility for me to launch a radio station of some sort. What does it mean?
Absolutely. I mean, on the FM band, there's currently congestion. I mean, there's not enough a spectrum to add additional FM stations. Now, with DAB Plus, what we hope to have is, you know, because it's a digital platform, it's efficient, it's spectrum efficient, you will then have the capability to add much more radio stations.
Right.
So DAB Plus is in effect the digital component of what the DTT is for television. So DAB Plus is on the FM side of things.
Yeah. When it comes to issues of programming, my ears are also raising up a little bit because I can think, maybe they're going to need a bit more programming there, maybe programming ideas and opportunities and that type of thing.
Of course, in fact, this new way of broadcasting, I think that's how I'll explain it, is coming up with a lot of opportunities. I think we do have community television stations, and but in future, I think even as a public broadcaster, we might, in terms of the availability of space, we might come up with provincial, programs. So definitely there will be a need for additional content. So
Great
people have to
stuff.
produce their own content.
Great stuff.
Because I'm sure you should remember, SABC is not in the business of producing content. We are broadcasters.
Right.
So the members of the public will have to produce content. I mean, right now we're talking about 5 additional stations. Television channels. I'm talking about the 5 channels, the 3 that we have plus the 2. Definitely to keep those channels running, we would need additional content. And it means that we'll need more people to produce content in the future. So there are definitely opportunities.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a caller quickly, the last one for the evening. Caller, good evening to you. I cannot see the caller's name on the screen, so pardon me for that. It's a very good evening to you, caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from? Tibos. Ke a kwa bjale ke tlo bolela Sepedi ba.
Ke a kwa ba bolela mo ra wa setho box la apply ya batho ba lo re ga ba afford. Jwale ba ba affordang bona ka re ga sentse ba bolele le mali le price gore tlo ba bokae dilo tse go patela ka kgwedi gore wa kgona ke re nyaka ngwe e tseba motho mongwe tla tla le go ntse ba iseka sekile ba tla re botsa gore e tla ba bokae dilo ke ga botse go ba le reng ba dira ba kgona go ka patela masheleng a we le gore ga ke re ba boletse 3.5 go ya fase la pile re nyaka go tseba gona mo ga botse gore ba diangene go na le engwe ya bobedi go na le taba ya gore batho ba ka kgona go thusa ke batho ba ile reng ke ba dipolotiki ba kgona go ba nyakela bo makoko ba kgona go ba applyela ba kra ba ifa so pa se itseng ba bang ba sa ba fe ka gore ba ka mokgatlhong wa bona le teo le tsona ya mokhuto ba di lebellana ya corruption gore di ka ba gona kana ka mokgo ke tsena tse ke na le tsona le go
ke le boge wena Thabo gore tšerna kwa ga gore le wena o re letse mo kgašong ya nna ya botšeng bja legono go na le polelo Giet and Anton, there's a saying ka Sepedi in Sepedi o mpolaela kae. It means how much, people want to find out, because we spoke about those families who cannot afford. But people want to find out those that can afford. How much are we looking at in terms of buying set-top boxes? So
that would be the individuals who earn more than 3,000.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. In terms of what we've seen available currently on the market, there's a few that are being retailed. I'm not going to mention any names.
Yeah.
Though there are the ones that are using the satellite platform, and there are ones that are using the Centec platform. But necessarily the prices vary from 600 Rand for the set-top box, excluding either the aerial or the dish, and that necessarily also excludes the installation. So you could be looking in the order of about 1,800 Rand, I think, all in all, for the set-top box, aerial or dish, and installation.
Wow, that's awesome. Isasa?
Yes, I just wanted to add
To
that.
me, it's a beg your pardon. Like, I mean, like, seriously. As if you got Usasa for it.
Thank you for that. I just wanted to add that, the ones that we produce as USASA are strictly for free. Those ones are not the ones that are for sale. But as mentioned already, that there are those from our partners that are already available. Actually, they're the DTT. They are part of the program as well. I don't know if we can say the names of the companies, but they are part of it. But it's part of the program because we do understand that to those that can't afford, they still need to have the same services when the cutoff date comes from. But in terms of what we are producing, we're making sure that we reach those citizens that can't afford.
All right. Political interference and corruption. Let's check out with the Office of Digital Migration.
Thank you, Karabo.
Sorry, Dr. Padu.
Karabo, we are working on the ground. This process it's community driven. It's running with the community in their respective areas. There is no way that we are going to skip anybody because of either being poor or being hated by somebody. Everybody who has a television it's registering and we are connecting them.
Right. Okay.
We have public community in those respective areas where we are connecting. This is a transparent process. The municipalities are there. The two song centers are there. Yeah. Community development workers are there. There is no way that any corrupt activities can happen to say we're giving Karabo and not Ntadejian. Everybody who qualifies is receiving the boxes.
All right.
Karabo, if I can come in there, when a person is registered, we capture his ID number and we check it. If that same person comes again, so
it will reflect.
Yeah, it will. So the ID number cannot be duplicated. And the second one is where the person has lost his receipt, that he's his receipt. He just merely brings his ID book and we issue, and we can issue with him the equipment.
As jy nou weer gaan, dan gaan 'n moeilikheid wees. If you go again with your I need to translate that. Sorry, Patu Ben. I know. What that meant was if you go again and we can pick up your ID number, there's going to be problems, all right? All right, we've got a minute to close it off. Gentlemen, lady, if you want to jump in, maybe with your final words, let's start on the other hand. Jump in there.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to emphasize that registration has been activated in all 9 provinces. Delivery phase of the set-top boxes has been activated in 7 of these provinces. The last 2, Gauteng and the Western Cape, will be activated shortly. We are just waiting for the delivery of some more of the equipment. But we've got enough at this point in time for the balance of the provinces. So we urge all the listeners to please come to the post offices and start registering so that we can get the program going.
Let's get from the South African Post Office. Antoine, I don't know if you want to say something there.
Lastly, from my side, only one member of the household must register.
All right.
And then where there's more than one household on a stand, both of them must come and register.
Right. That's Anton van Vieren, South African Post Office. Yes, Dadamunisi Centec.
Well, thank you, Karabo. I think as Centec, for us, we're really excited with this process, with the digital migration, and we're here to support, the country in migrating to a digital and much better improved picture quality. And talk to us. The network is there, ready to be used. In the background, as Centec, we are busy fine-tuning the network, so work is happening on the ground.
Dr. Giannis was about to grab the microphone, and I went to you by mistake, and I could see Dr. Giannis like, this guy. What is this now? What is the problem now?
No, it is not.
Dr. Giannis, jump in.
No, I just want to make a humble appeal to the members of the public that please make use of this opportunity. I'm aware that there are people complaining about, the signal, which is not very clear. People in the Nkomazi area, people at Egulindeni in Mpumalanga, because of the topography of their areas.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity. Just go to the nearest post office, apply for a set-top box if you qualify. All your problems will be resolved. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. All right, let's hear from Dr. Fatu. I'm getting an elbow as I say that. I'm not looking at him, but I can feel what he's saying. He's saying, no, go the other side. Let's go the other side. Let's go to Kitumetse. Kitumetse from USASA.
Yes, I just want to say that it's important, some of the issues that have been raised about the installers and things like that, it's important that the communities need to participate in this program. They need to call us in all the platforms that are available. They need to contact us on the websites. All the information, since we're working as a team, we make sure that all the information is available on all our social media platforms, websites, all of that. All our contact details are available. They need to contact us and let us know, because if some of these issues are not addressed, we won't be able to assist them and to fast track the program as fast as we would like. So I think it's important. I can even leave my details so that I know that some of the installers, some of them are struggling, so we can actually collaborate with them. They contact us and then we make sure that they work together with the existing companies.
Your details quickly, let's do that.
My details are Kitumetse at USASA. It's KEITUMETSE at USAASA.org.za.
All right, and then landline number. We don't want to give him a cell phone number.
The landline number is 011 564 1612.
All right. And then Dr. Mutubi?
Karabo,
There was no way I was going to leave you out, trust me.
Karabo, as government, we have timelines. We wanted to complete this process by latest June 2019. We have opened registrations across the country, so anybody who qualifies can go visit the post office and register, without any delay. We have timelines for the registration process to the end of April. So we want to tell everybody across the country that we have timelines for registrations. If everybody can be registered by the end of April, there's still work to be done after registrations. We need to analyze data and we need to plan the rollout, the device rollout process. We want to indicate that the delay in the rollout process, or the delay in this migration process, has impact on the provision of the broadband services that the country needs most for the future of data and technology in this country. So we are calling upon everybody. The timelines that we're talking about are baseline timelines. We don't want to miss these timelines, and for us to achieve that is through our communities, through the public and everybody concerned, to ensure that we meet the timelines that we set as government. We meet the timelines. We don't want a situation, Karabo, where when we switch off the analog services, people are crying without having access to broadcasting services.
Well, thank you so much to my guests for this evening, coming from the South African Post Office, the South African Broadcasting Corporation, Centec, the Digital Migration Program Office of the Department of Communication, as well as USASA with us. And also thank you so much to the GCIS broadcast team, doing an absolutely amazing job. That's Reginald Sanyani on sound. Thank you so much, Reggie. Really appreciate that. Nontantlan Dawonde on telecommunications, making sure that everybody who's calling in gets through. Really appreciate it. Tebogo Dube capturing each and every single moment. So tomorrow when the minister calls me and says, why were you putting your finger in your nose? This is the guy that's responsible for that. So really thank you so much to the team for that. Mish Mulakeng coordinating the whole thing. Really appreciate it, sir. You're doing an absolutely amazing job. That's me, by the way. Karabalance bidding you farewell for this evening. Ciao for now.